There's a profound kind of strength in fighting battles when the world isn't watching. Every tear you wiped away in solitude, every moment you chose patience over anger, every time you rose despite feeling defeated, these silent struggles shaped you in ways words rarely capture. You were tested in the quiet, when applause was absent and recognition felt impossible. But your resilience didn't waver, and that's exactly why you're standing tall today. Think about those nights you stayed up praying, hoping for breakthrough, yet no one knew the depth of your despair or your unwavering faith. These unseen battles carved a unique kind of courage into your spirit, the kind that doesn't need validation from the outside world. It's raw, real, and incredibly powerful. If this resonates with you, make sure to hit that like button and share your story in the comments, because your journey matters, and here at Awakened Era, we honor it. Have you ever felt that your quiet sacrifices were invisible? How did you keep pushing forward when no one was there to cheer you on? Sacrifice is never easy, especially when no one witnesses it. You chose the hard path, sacrificing comfort, late nights, personal dreams, or even relationships to stay true to your higher purpose. These sacrifices often went unnoticed, buried beneath the noise of everyday life, yet they formed the foundation of your future triumphs. The universe sees these sacrifices even when others don't. For example, think of the artist who worked on their craft in solitude, the parent working multiple jobs to provide unseen support, or the student burning the midnight oil while others partied. These sacrifices build character, resilience, and ultimately, success. So if you've ever felt like giving up because no one seemed to notice, remember that every silent effort is a seed for a greater harvest. Integrity isn't about public approval. It's about doing what's right, even when the world is unaware. You faced temptations to take shortcuts, to bend the rules, to give in to bitterness or dishonesty. But you stayed faithful to your values, even if it meant walking alone or moving slower than others. This kind of integrity is rare and precious. It's the invisible gold that forms your true character. Studies show that integrity builds long-term trust and respect, even if short-term rewards seem scarce. When you choose to be honest in the shadows, you lay the groundwork for lasting blessings. This is your moment to celebrate that quiet strength. If you feel called, comment below how integrity has shaped your life. Don't forget, at Awakened Era, we're building a community where your unseen virtues shine bright. Faith is most powerful when hope feels fragile or invisible. You held on to something greater than yourself during the darkest seasons. When your prayers felt unanswered and your efforts unrewarded, you still believed that the universe was orchestrating something extraordinary on your behalf. That faith, even when tested, kept you anchored and moving forward. This steadfast trust in the unseen is what distinguishes chosen ones from the rest. Neuroscience shows that faith activates resilience centers in the brain, helping people endure stress and uncertainty. Your faith is not only spiritual, it's a psychological superpower. After seasons of waiting and wrestling, the universe is aligning in your favor. The sacrifices, integrity, and faith you showed in silence are beginning to manifest as blessings, opportunities, and growth. What felt like delays were actually divine setups, the quiet preparation for your breakthrough moment. Many successful individuals describe a period of invisible work before their big success. Think of J.K. Rowling's years of struggle before Harry Potter, or Oprah's early career challenges. Your story fits into this pattern of unseen persistence turning into visible triumph. In a world where it's easy to mirror the energy around you, you chose kindness over retaliation. When people spoke harshly, when they betrayed your trust, when they mocked your silence, you still held on to your gentle heart. And though your kindness may have been mistaken for weakness, it was actually the fiercest form of strength. You didn't let the world change your nature, and that is why the universe is now conspiring in your favor. Studies in emotional intelligence show that those who maintain compassion under pressure possess elevated inner strength. You showed up with love, patience, and grace when cruelty would have been easier. That wasn't just emotional discipline, it was divine alignment. That kind of energy doesn't go unnoticed in the spiritual realm. It echoes across time, and blessings are catching up to your goodness. Sometimes the biggest blessing is being hidden. You weren't overlooked because you were unworthy. You were hidden because you were being prepared. Being unseen protected you from premature exposure, from distractions that could have derailed your destiny, and from people who didn't deserve your energy. You didn't fail, you were being filtered. Consider a seed planted in the soil, in darkness, buried beneath the surface, away from sight. That seed isn't dead, it's developing. That's what your hidden seasons were about. You were growing unseen roots. The storms didn't kill you, they watered your purpose. Now the time is coming when the world will finally see the blossom, but it was your time in the dark that made it possible. Authenticity is a radical act. In a culture where everyone is curating personas, uploading filtered lives, and chasing popularity, you chose to be real. You stayed true to who you are, even when it cost you approval, relationships, or opportunities. That's not just brave, it's sacred. And now the universe is rewarding you for choosing alignment over applause. Being yourself means risking rejection, but also receiving blessings that are truly meant for you. False success based on performance eventually collapses, but success that comes from authenticity, that lasts. At Awakened Era, we celebrate souls like you who dare to be themselves in a world that rewards imitation. There were moments when you felt a whisper in your spirit, a soft nudge to let go, to walk away, to trust even when nothing made sense. And you listened. You obeyed. Not loudly, not boastfully, but quietly. That kind of obedience moves heaven. You didn't need signs or applause, you just needed peace. And you followed it. Many chosen ones are tested not through grand events, but through small decisions that no one sees. You made those decisions with integrity, and now heaven is moving on your behalf. Your obedience in private has created a ripple effect that is just now beginning to show in your life. If this speaks to you, take a moment to like and share this message. Someone else might need this reminder too. Perhaps one of the most defining parts of your story is this. People gave up on you, but you didn't give up on yourself. Friends disappeared. Family doubted, opportunities vanished. But you chose to believe in the person you were becoming. That inner belief was your lifeline. And now the results of that belief are beginning to manifest in ways even you couldn't imagine. Self-belief is a spiritual muscle, and you strengthened it in isolation. When people said, "You can't," something inside you whispered, "Watch me." And now the universe is echoing that belief, bringing you divine opportunities, support, and alignment. Make sure you're subscribed to Awakened Era, because this season we're diving deeper into walking in divine confidence and self-worth. You were once rejected, ignored, or laughed at because you didn't fit the mold. You were too deep, too kind, too intuitive, too much. But the very things that made you different are now the reasons doors are opening. What was once mocked is now magnetic. The rejection was never about your worth. It was about your uniqueness needing the right environment to thrive. From Elon Musk to Maya Angelou, some of the most impactful souls were first rejected. Why? Because pioneers don't belong in boxes, and neither do you. That rejection was protection from places that couldn't recognize your value. At Awakened Era, we believe chosen ones were meant to stand out. Not just to be different, but to make a difference. You helped people without posting about it. You gave when you had little. You encouraged others, even while you were hurting. That kind of generosity doesn't go unnoticed in the divine economy. You sowed seeds without expecting harvest. But now, harvest is chasing you down. Spiritual laws are clear. What you give out returns multiplied. And because your giving came from a pure heart, your blessings will be abundant and surprising. You didn't give to be seen, But now you're about to be seen for the way you gave. Don't hold back your light. While others competed for attention, you built in silence. You didn't gossip. You didn't step on others to climb. You created your path with integrity. That's what sets you apart. Your focus wasn't on being better than others, it was on becoming the best version of yourself. And now your lane is expanding. True creators are rewarded not just with success, but with peace. Because you didn't compromise to get ahead, you're stepping into a future that's not only bright, it's built on truth. Keep building. Keep creating. The world is about to recognize what you've quietly constructed. You could have let the pain make you bitter, but you let it make you better. You chose to heal instead of hate. You could have let the pain make you bitter, but you let it make you better. You chose to heal instead of hate. You chose to grow instead of gossip. That's not weakness. That's power. A pure heart in a polluted world is a rare and divine force. And your purity is what's magnetizing blessings toward you now. Many people build walls around their hearts after being hurt. But you kept yours open. Maybe scarred, maybe bruised, but still full of love. And because of that, love is coming back to you in ways you never expected. Patience isn't passive, it's powerful. You didn't force doors to open. You didn't beg people to stay. You trusted divine timing. And now what's truly meant for you is flowing into your life without resistance. Because you waited with grace, you'll receive with ease. There's a saying, what you chase runs away, what you attract stays. And now, because you chose alignment over desperation, blessings are finding you. You don't have to beg for what's already yours. Your presence, your energy, your frequency, it's enough. Trust that. Subscribe to Awakened Era for more powerful reminders of your divine worth. Not everyone knew what you were battling behind that smile. The weight you carried, the silent tears, the unanswered prayers, all hidden beneath a spirit that refused to break. You showed up for work, for family, for friends, even when you were falling apart. That kind of strength can't be taught. It's the signature of the chosen. You didn't let suffering steal your spirit, and that in itself was a divine triumph. Some people win in front of crowds, but you won in the secret place. You didn't collapse under pressure. You evolved. Your pain didn't make you bitter. It deepened your compassion, sharpened your intuition, and amplified your purpose. The universe noticed how you suffered with grace, and now grace is circling back to lift you. You're not being rewarded just for surviving, you're being honored for how you endured. Everything is energy. What you give out returns, often multiplied. You gave love when you didn't receive it. You spoke life into others when you needed encouragement yourself. You lifted others from the pit while you were still climbing out. And now that energy is coming back to you in waves, not just as karma but as divine compensation for your obedience to your soul. Energetically, the universe is always listening. You didn't curse your darkness, you lit candles for others. You didn't broadcast your pain, you became a healing presence. That's why peace is flooding your life now. You chose to be a blessing even while you were bleeding, and now blessings are magnetized to your frequency. You know that version of yourself, the one who felt lost, broken, overlooked, the one who cried alone, wondered if anyone cared, doubted their worth. That version of you would be in awe of who you're becoming right now. You're becoming the person you once needed, the protector, the healer, the guide, the safe space. You turned your wounds into wisdom. Your past didn't destroy you, it awakened you. Everything you went through taught you how to lead with empathy, walk with awareness, and shine with purpose. This is more than a reward, it's a rebirth. You're now a living testament of what happens when someone refuses to let their pain define them. You didn't just survive, you evolved. The reward isn't just what's coming to you, it's what's been revealed within you. the trials, the silence, the struggles, they didn't just lead to a breakthrough, they led to you, the truest version of you, the chosen version, the version that doesn't chase validation, doesn't shrink for comfort, and doesn't compromise for approval. That is your greatest treasure. You've been refined by fire, the gold within you has been purified through process, and now the light in you is undeniable. That's what's drawing new people, new opportunities, and new doors into your life. You don't have to do anything except continue being you. Your energy is enough. Your presence is enough. Your heart is more than enough. There were moments when your silence spoke louder than any defense you could have offered. You chose not to explain yourself to those who had already decided who you were. You didn't argue when they misjudged your intentions. Instead, you went inward, into the presence of God, into the stillness of your soul. That decision wasn't weakness, it was power in disguise. Heaven was watching how you responded when your voice felt stolen by pain, and now divine justice is being spoken on your behalf. The truth is, silence in the face of injustice is a sacred language. It's the language of trust, but a trust that God sees beyond what the world sees. You knew that shouting your innocence wouldn't set you free. Only divine timing could. And now that time has come. People who discredited you will begin to feel the dissonance of their own dishonesty. They'll see the fruit growing from the tree they once tried to chop down. Spiritual research and scripture alike point to the power of stillness. Even the Psalms say, "But be still and know that I am God." You were still, but your energy, your tears, your faith, and your choices were loud in the spiritual realm. God collects the tears of the righteous. None of yours were wasted. They were seeds in disguise, and now they are blossoming into unstoppable favor. Think back to a time when you held your tongue, even when you had every reason to lash out. What happened afterward? Often it's not until much later that we realize how powerful our restraint was. Share your experience in the comments. Your story may be someone else's roadmap to maturity. You gave from empty cups. You poured wisdom, kindness, comfort, and support into others while your own soul was parched. The world didn't know what it cost you to show up, how you cried in private but smiled in public, how you offered answers while still waiting for your own. That's a spiritual form of fasting, and it never goes unnoticed by the divine. God saw how you chose others even when you needed someone to choose you, and now He's about to fill every void they left behind. Think about it. How many times did you silence your pain so you could hold space for someone else's? That is sacred suffering, the kind that transforms your soul without applause. You became someone's light in the dark, someone's encouragement in the storm. And though they may have forgotten, heaven didn't. Your reward isn't just coming, it's pressing in. You're about to receive the kind of love and replenishment that makes you wonder how you ever went without it. There came a time when settling was an option, but you didn't take it. Love, money, friendships, careers. You could have said yes to half-hearted offers, but something in your soul said wait. You trusted that your worth wasn't too much. It was just too sacred for the wrong spaces. That decision to walk away from almost is what positioned you for divine alignment. The universe is now sending people and blessings that match the frequency of your integrity. When you raise your standards, you narrow your circle. That's the price of elevation. But you didn't lower your value to fit in. You made room for better. And it hurt, didn't it? Watching others get chosen while you were isolated, watching less qualified people win temporary prizes while you were still building in silence. But let me tell you something, chosen one. What's built on standards lasts. What's built on compromise cracks. Your foundation is unshakable now because you refused to shrink. There's something profoundly divine about being alone, not just lonely, but intentionally isolated. While others chased crowds and applause, you were taken into a quiet place. God removed distractions, dismantled your false attachments, and rewired your spirit. At the time, it felt like rejection, But now you understand. It was redirection. Your calling needed clarity, and clarity doesn't come in chaos. True leaders are not built in popularity, they are shaped in obscurity. That's where you were trained, in silence, in stillness, in suffering. That's where you learned discernment, empathy, humility, and vision. Now you lead not from ego, but from essence. And the world needs that kind of leadership. You weren't sent here to fit in, you were called to stand apart. Every scar, every delay, every tear, every lonely night, it all had a purpose. Your entire life has been one long preparation for the season you're stepping into now. This isn't just another chapter. This is the revelation of the chosen, the unveiling of who you really are. You were hidden for refinement, not rejection. And now the time has come for the world to see what heaven has always known. You're not just being blessed with things. You're being revealed as someone. The world will finally recognize the spirit they tried to overlook. You are a living testimony. Your presence is a prophecy fulfilled. Every silent decision, every unseen kindness, every private prayer is now becoming part of your public story. But this moment isn't about proving others wrong. It's about proving you were right to trust God all along. Right to keep going when everything said stop. Right to believe when nothing made sense. You've arrived at the intersection of divine timing and soul alignment. This is more than a breakthrough, it's a becoming. Chosen one, you're not lucky, you're aligned. The reward was never about wealth, fame, or validation. It was always about becoming. And now you are that version. You are the one your younger self prayed for. You are the one your future is waiting on. Stand tall, walk boldly, smile confidently. Your reward is already unfolding.